GM, everybody. I'm just gonna kick us off real quick. I know I'm not the person you want to see today, but just a very quick introduction. I'm Trisha from Angel Hack. Welcome to the official opening ceremony for the Sigma Sprint Hackathon. Very excited to have you here with us. So just want to give everyone a quick welcome before we go into the main housekeeping matters. So Urban, if you could go to the next slide. Okay, cool. So the first question I have to ask everybody here, is are you guys ready to accelerate your growth and push the boundaries of
Yay!
Web3 with Wormhole? Yeah, because it's definitely happening whether you want it or not, right? Regardless. So before we officially talk about the good stuff, Urban, next slide. Here's just some preliminary information you need to know. Okay, hacking period starts today on the 14th of October and will end on the 3rd of November at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, the hackathon is also fully virtual. So workshops, speaker sessions, mentor office hours, everything is virtual. Live sessions are scheduled specifically for global participants. So please join us at your earlier convenience. Discord.
Oh, wow. All right, so we lost Trish. Let's see what happened there.
Well, good old Crowdcast.
All good. Yeah, yes, exactly. So maybe I can just kick it off because she would have introduced me in like a second anyway. Yeah, like she said, this hackathon is fully virtual. Sessions should be scheduled already, and if you have your calendar set up correctly, you can go to the participation guide, scroll down, and there's a button to click that adds all the sessions into your calendar. Discord is going to be our primary means of communication, and team sizes range from 1 to 5, right? So there are solo hackers that want to hack solo, and up to 5 people that can be on the team. So I am going to introduce myself right now since Trish has dropped off. Yeah, look, I am part of the Wormhole Foundation team that has been putting together Sigma as a whole program. So Sigma, as you all hopefully are familiar with, is a larger startup program that we're spinning up. It kind of has 3 components that are, let's say, loosely connected to each other. Sigma Sprint, Sigma Accelerate, and Sigma Seed, and we are currently going through Sigma Sprint, which is the global multi-chain builder competition. And as you're going to see throughout the session, there's some nuances to it. We've got, for instance, milestone-based prizes. We've got some amazing sponsors with us, and many other things. So without being too long with it, let's maybe look at the actual setup of the builder competition. So the first part to understand is that it has main tracks, and it does have 2 main tracks. One being for the new projects. So think about, you come along, you've maybe met some of your new friends online or something along these lines. You want to spin up a new project, you want to build something new. Well, we've obviously, these types of events, initiatives have plenty of such situations, right? You want to come along, you want to build something new. So we decided that this is kind of a good bucket for people to fit in, right? If you want to build something new, probably you should be competing against people, teams, projects that also want to build something new. So this is the first track, and the second track is basically made for existing projects that want to continue building. So in many cases, obviously, you as a existing team, existing project, don't want to just continuously keep on abandoning stuff just to win some prizes in some sort of builder competition. In our case, in hackathons and stuff like that, you want to continuously keep on updating your project, making it better. So this is kind of the broader bucket for welcome back, Trish.
Thank you.
There you go. So the existing project track is kind of that wider bucket for these types of projects, these types of builders, founders, developers, right? So we kind of opted for this new existing project track as opposed to having topical or thematic tracks, because it kind of seems to fit better. And we've so far received good feedback. So looking forward to what you guys think as we go through this. Now, the main tracks have some prizes attached to it, right? Now, it's important to note that these prizes are from 1st to 5th place for each track. So it's actually 10 prizes in total, but these are set up in milestones, right? So as you win Sigma Sprint, you're actually unlocking the first milestone. That is your first prize. Now, to unlock the full, if you win first place, to unlock the 50K, you need to continuously build to actually accomplish this, to unlock it with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th milestone. Now, part of this builder competition is also, when you make a submission, you also need to describe your milestones. What you're submitting is actually a milestone proposal plan. So, it's a plan, it's a proposed plan that you're going to follow. We're going to kind of reach out to the winners, go back and forth to see if maybe there's some updates that need to be made or something like that. But generally, that is kind of the broader setup, right? And the idea, just to kind of shed a little bit of light on this, the idea is, because obviously it's very hard to build something over a course of days or weeks, and we really want to set up the incentives in such a way that it's a longer term engagement, both for us on the foundation side, on the wormhole side, as well as for builders coming in, right? Because realistically, y'all are going to build something really awesome over the course of months, not just days and weeks, right? That's kind of the idea here. All right, we've got sponsor tracks, Solana and Sui on the gold sponsor track, and Circle a silver sponsor. We've got representatives from Solana and Sui that are going to be giving a short keynote. I actually need to check with Harrison. Harrison Kim in white. There we go. That are going to be giving a short keynote. And before we do that, I do want to introduce the tracks and the prizes. So both the Solana and Sui, welcome back, Harrison. So both the Solana and Sui tracks have standardized prizes. These are 10, 7.5, and 5K first, second, and third, both on the existing and new side. Now, with Circle, it's a little bit, a tiny bit more diverse, right? Circle has a couple of different services and so on, so they asked to make a little bit of an adjustment. They've got the Web3 services, both for new and existing, first and second prize. Circle also is going to be giving out prizes for building with CCTP, as well as their USDC and USC pairs or tokens, essentially stable coins. And they have a small feedback bounty that they wanted to put on. So top 4 for the feedback will be getting $500 US. So that is it. And now let us hear from Antran. Let me pull you on stage. There we go. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Antran. I'm part of Superteam. So I have been with Superteam for about 2 years now, and I live in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and I run the local Superteam, but I actually take care of the entire region. So that includes places like the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and of course, Vietnam. We're all very excited about this Sigma hackathon. We've been working with Wormhole for quite some time now in terms of sponsoring local tracks, doing Wormhole workshops. So doing a very comprehensive, large-scale hackathon with 3 components, not just the hackathon itself, but the accelerator program and also access to potentially venture capital funding later on, makes this a very large and comprehensive program. And I think the last time I checked the numbers with some of the folks internally, there's probably over 1,000 signups for Sigma coming out of the Southeast Asia region from countries like Vietnam and Indonesia, who are extremely excited, and who's when we see prize pools that are this big, it's extremely meaningful, right? And most of us in the Solana ecosystem just finished the big global hackathon done through Coliseum. So a lot of projects are kind of ready to go. Some projects have built a really cool, a pretty cool dApp that's just for Solana. But I think moving into the next few weeks, now it's the opportunity to use Wormhole to do cross-chain messaging with other platforms to try to draw in people from those EVM and move chains to Solana. So it's got actually a very interesting time. I think it's kind of should give a lot of the Solana builders a nice edge. But for any of you who are building on Solana, please check in with your local super team, and they and their super team leads and the DevRel community are more than happy to help review your project, give you some insights, teach you about Wormhole and all those different things. So really excited to be here, really excited to get our community participating in this, and love to help anybody else who's trying to enter the ecosystem. Thanks.
Fantastic. Antran, thank you very much for this. I do want to say we've truly been working together for a fair bit now, and it's really good to see all the amazing super team communities and everything that you guys have been building, right? The radar, I think to my last temperature check was pretty good, right? It went pretty well for you guys. And I've seen a ton of engagement from, like you said, Vietnam, Indonesia, and so on. So yeah, props on putting all that together. Cool. All right, I'm gonna put you back up. There we go. Thank you very much, Harrison. Let me pull you down here. Down.
Hello.
Hey. Good to see you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for hosting this opening ceremony.
Absolutely.
All right.
Kick it off.
Sure. Let me just share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Slides. No, screen. Bear with me. What does it say? The screen is actually being shared.
Try now.
All right. Yes. Here we go. I'm just going to do my full screen so everyone can see. All right. Cool. All right. Everyone can see this?
You're good.
Good. Thank you. All right. Nice to meet you all. GM, my name is Harrison Kim. I'm a developer advocate at the SWE Foundation. I am based in Seoul, and I do online and offline dev events. So that includes hackathons, workshops, and mixers. And that's my Twitter handle if you want to stay connected. So today, I just want to say SWE is the next generation blockchain driving the internet revolution from Web 2 to Web 3. But I'm not going to dive into details on all of this. And I just want to today just share with you why I'm excited about SWE these days. And I also want to just answer this common question that I get, which is like, why is SWE a gaming chain, or why is SWE so focused on gaming? And it's actually just because gaming industry is a wonderful industry to showcase what our chain is capable of, and also one game can bring on massive adoption, right? Like one of these games can bring on hundreds of millions of users. So I think that's why we're just starting. It seems like we're starting with gaming. And again, back to why I'm excited about SWE, and hopefully you are by the end of this short few minutes of slides that I want to show you today. All right, so SWE Play OX1 is a handheld device where you can play both your Web 2 and Web 3 games. And that's coming out in H1 of 2025. There are also 4 more partnership announcements that were announced during Token 2049. You can check them out on my Twitter. These are pretty much hot off the press. I did this for you guys so that you guys can check it out after this ceremony. But I want to just show you the first one, which is, hopefully you know this too.
Harrison, just so that you know, there's no audio on this.
Oh, there's no audio?
Yeah, we couldn't hear anything.
Anything? Even the previous one?
No.
Okay. Well, those are all on those are all on Twitter, so you can watch it on your own time. But basically, this is Back to the Future, and you see Doc, and no more spoilers. So you'll see that there's one for 1 championship, one for 3 DOS, and last but not least, Circle, or USDC, which I think is also relevant for this hackathon. So now I'm not too sure if USDC will be integrated, or is it already, for your hackathon, but hopefully you'll be able to also include that in one of your projects. All right, so I'll stop sharing. Cool. Sorry about the technical difficulties. You guys are more than welcome to check out the videos with sound. Yeah.
Awesome.
Harrison, you can feel free to link the videos down below if you have them. I think people on live chat will be able to see the playback later as well.
Okay, I'll share that with you guys right now. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be going into details of the hackathon bounties and all the higher level SWE, and also have 1 or 2 of my colleagues just demo very quickly SWE advanced features, as well as the Walrus storage protocol that Miston Lab created recently. So yeah, in 60 minutes tomorrow, we'll show you guys that. But I just shared a link to what I was trying to show you earlier. And I'll also include one more link, which is the Steam Deck, the SWE Play video. Okay.
Awesome. This is great. Thank you very much, Harrison. So tomorrow we do have, like mentioned, both the Solana and SUI first sessions. So please dive into that. Like Harrison mentioned, there's going to be more details on both the tech and the non-tech side, right? How to build and engage. Cool. Harrison, thank you very much. I'm going to take you off the stage right now. This was fantastic. Trish and I can continue. Right, let's keep going. All right, before I hand it over to Trish, there's a couple of more things I wanted to go over. One being the roadmap, which is essentially the timeline in front of you. So last week on Monday, we've actually started kind of a pre-hackathon, pre-builder competition series of workshops, both technical and non-technical in nature. We've had 2 wormhole workshops. There are a bunch of talks around marketing, community building, and all of these things. We've had wonderful builder stories, AMAs, which one of them is actually coming up after this opening ceremony with Tristan from Backpack and Mad Lads. I'd suggest not missing that, because it's always fantastic to hear from Tristan in general, but these builder stories are really made to inspire. Looking beyond today, right? Today is the official launch. The submission period also opens and everything. After today, we have workshops set up between the 15th and about 23rd. There's also office hours and all that shebang, right? If you need support, this is where everything's going to happen. The submission deadline is on November 3rd. Now, please keep that in mind. it's pretty much a hard deadline. I don't think we're going to be moving that by a lot, so just keep that in mind, please. Judging period is the week after, and then the winner's announcement on November 16th. So these timelines, just so that everybody's aware, are probably a tiny bit flexible, right? Especially on the judging side, because we don't really know how many submissions we're going to get to judge. So please bear with us if there's like a slight delay, but we're going to work very hard to keep these timelines in sync. All right, one more time, the sponsored track workshops, without going into detail of every single one. Tomorrow, we've got the first workshops from both Solana and Sui. And then on the 16th, another Solana workshop, the second one. Sui is actually coming on the 22nd, the second workshop. And then on October 17th, that's the Thursday this week, if I'm not mistaken, we have the Circle workshop as well. And now I'm going to pass it over to Trish to take you through the second or third part of this presentation. So go ahead, Trish.
Okay, thanks, Irvin. I'm just back with more key details. I'm just going to do my best to be quick because I have a bit of PTSD from Crowdcast kicking me off the stage earlier. But this is actually all you need to know for a great hackathon experience over the next couple of weeks. Next slide. So first things first, right? Joining and being a part of our Discord community is like super important. I'm going to send the Discord link down below in the event that, you know, you haven't joined Discord yet, because what are you waiting for? Right, we have 5 main channels that house different information, right? You can see a very quick summary here on the slides, but it's really the main place for you to seek help, find teammates, or even just to chat with other hackers. So if you have not yet joined our Discord community, please do so. It's very important, and given that the hackathon is fully virtual, this is the main place to be. Okay, next slide. Now, the next part and the next resource that's also equally as important, I'm gonna put this down in the live chat as well so that you don't miss out, is the participants guide. This is a key resource. I think I encourage all Sigma sprinters to just save and bookmark the guide during these 3 weeks. This is really just a hackathon GPS. It just houses so much information. You can find like resources, documentation, all workshop recordings, right? And even submission requirements, hackathon rules. This would actually help, you know, your submission later on down the line. And you just don't want to end up finding, or rather end up, you know, not knowing the information beforehand and scrambling at the last minute, because we don't want that, essentially. Okay, next slide. So
maybe before we go on,
oh,
sorry, Trish, maybe before we go on, there's a question, any indication on amount of participants? Like, I honestly don't want to jinx it, but it's north of 3,000 at this point. So yes, that's one of the reasons why we moved the winner announcements from the 11th to the 16th. We don't exactly know, right, how many people are actually going to make a submission, but so far a lot of people have been very interested. So, you know, time will tell, and we'll see where we end up with. Back to you.
Cool.
Sorry,
Thanks,
Trish.
Irvin. And no, it's okay. Thank you for asking the question as well. I think that was very helpful. Yes, and it is north of 3,000. So we are expecting, I think, more people to join as the hackathon progresses. So for those that are here today, just want to let you guys know, you know, we have seen, I think, quite a few questions coming in on Discord seeking technical support. Right, please ensure, you know, or join our Wormhole office hours every Tuesday. You can actually ask all the questions you want there. You don't have to gatekeep to just join one session. You can join as many as you like. Or alternatively, if you can't make it on Tuesdays, you can also reach out to our mentors directly on Discord. Just ensure that you use the help desk channel and tag Sigma Mentor in your message. You can also categorize the question according to the tags that we have provided on Discord here. So that way, you know, mentors are easily able to identify what questions you're asking and how they can best help. Yeah, moving forward, you know, this is also a good time for me to introduce our host of mentors. For Wormhole, we are seeing Pauline. Pauline's in the chat here as well. Pauline can say hi. Evgeny, Ilaria, and Martin, they will all be helping you out if you're choosing to do the main track. For Solana, we have Akshay, Dawn, and Hisashi, as well as, I think, Jane, Yash, and Nomad Nguyen from the various parts of the Solana ecosystem. For Sui, we have Daniel, APEC DevRel. And finally, for Circle, we have Ian, Developer Ecosystem Lead at APEC as well. So these are the various mentors that we have. Judging criteria, and I'm very thankful that Crowdcast hasn't locked me out yet. So I'm just going to be quick. You can find all this in the participants guide, but essentially we have 4 main buckets: technical evaluation, innovation, market potential, and team evaluation. So this is described in more detail in the participants guide, but this is also specifically for the main track projects. So if you're looking to submit your projects for the main track, take note of the judging criteria here as well. Submission artifacts, there's many, but essentially the details can be found in the participants guide. I think I've been seeing that a lot, right? But we're looking at ensuring that you have your GitHub repo, your project details, pitch deck in PDF, pitch video, less than 4 minutes, and of course, milestones. The milestones will be very important, and we'll be going through them in detail in the participants guide as well. But this is crucial to be eligible for the main track prizes. So if you choose not to participate in the main track, then you won't need to submit this. But if you are looking to participate in the main track specifically, then do ensure that you have your milestone plan ready, right? And finally, your project demo link will all be needed to submit your projects for this hackathon. Now, the submission
I'm sorry, I just want to double click on the milestones part. We actually had a session on Friday with Pauline going through some of the details around the milestones and how to set that up and what's going to be kind of required and what the actual idea of these things is. But like Trish said, this is a very, very important part if you're going to be submitting to the main tracks. So do take note. I think if we haven't added much yet in the participants guide, it's going to come in over the next day or two. But generally, you should have enough information at hand to be able to do this. If not, since this is kind of a newer thing, right? Feel free to reach out to anyone on the team, from the mentors, anything like that. We're going to make sure to kind of have conversation to see where you're getting stuck or what your questions are. If it's not clear, we're here to help. So, and since this is kind of a newer thing, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you, Urban. Yeah, I've also linked Pauline's session from last Friday down below. But if you're on Crowdcast, you should be able to see the recap or the past recording on Crowdcast as well. So if you need, just look at our Discord announcements. I think everything is there. You can also click at the live chat if you need to see Pauline's session. But don't click now because we're still in the middle of our presentation. So just want to make that clear, yeah? Okay, so for the submission process, very straightforward. Just ensure that you make a draft submission in advance just to familiarize yourself with the portal. This is so that once again we prevent any last minute scrambling. We just want to make sure that everyone's able to submit your project on time. We know whenever you're ready, closer to the submission date of 3rd November, you just need your team representative, which is only one person from your team, to submit the project on behalf of everybody. Right? If you need to make edits to your submission, you can do so before the submission deadline via the unique login link sent to your registered email. Okay, moving on. Okay, finally, and this is where I think, if you're listening to me go on and on about the key details, this is very important, right? Because I know we'll be busy working on code and our milestone proposals over the next few weeks, but we can still have some fun. Okay, a hackathon is not just about submitting your projects, right? We are here to have fun. We're here to build together. The Sigma Champions program is a part of this hackathon, and we're actually looking for our top 50 Sigma champions. And believe me when I say this is not difficult to achieve, right? Because all you need to do are these few side quests. We're looking, to just award points for any activities or actions you participate in from 14 October now till 3rd November. And the top 50 individuals will actually receive a cool and exclusive Sigma Champions swag box, right? Actions or activities that you can participate in are, for example, referring your dev squad. If you refer any developers to join the Sigma Sprint, you get points, right? And if they submit a qualified submission, you get more points, which is great, right? You can also write about your journey, write weekly blog posts, essentially just documenting your time during this entire journey, right? And earn points for that. If you are feeling bold and extroverted, please feel free to host virtual events. I assure you I will attend. If you invite me, just tag me on Discord. I'll be there to listen to you, right? Share whatever you want to talk about with that Sigma related, whether it's an AMA, workshop, anything, I'm here, right? Earn 30 points for the event if you're hosting an event there. Finally, and this is where, all the things I spoke about, we have a pop quiz that is live, and we will be sharing once this session ends. If you answer any Sigma or wormhole related questions on Discord, you earn 2 points per correct answer. So once again, I think I've given enough hints, but if you don't remember what I said, or you want to look for the right answer, the participants guide that's where you find everything. Okay, so that's all I have today. thankfully Crowdcast did not lock me out, so I guess I was more exciting this time
Maybe
around.
Trish, before you say thank you, I think the Sigma Champions program is actually quite nicely set up. We'll see how it pans out, right? But the right about your journey part is something that's it's sometimes very hard to do if you think about it, right? Because you're deep in the trenches, you're building your product, you're building your project, you need to liaise with your co-founders, you need to like get the thing out. And sometimes this is not just like hackathon projects, early stage founders in general kind of forget that they need to tell people about what they're doing, right? It's very hard to get any kind of even adoption in later stages if you don't really talk about yourself and what you're building and the project that you're doing and everything. So this is meant to help people, incentivize people to talk about, not necessarily about Sigma, right? That's not what we're going for. Talk about yourself, talk about your project, talk about what you're building, what you're excited about, right? Obviously, if you're doing this within the Sigma concept, context, then it's even better, right? But at the end of the day, do talk about yourself, because that is eventually going to help you to launch your product, to actually launch your product as a company, startup that successfully raises venture funding and so on, if necessary, right? So yeah, and the swag is actually pretty cool. I'm the one responsible for sourcing that, and it is pretty cool. It is something that I would want to have.
Yeah, and I think about the journey portion, right? It doesn't need to be just about Sigma, like what Urban said. Use it, and you can post it on Twitter, on X as well, right? And it can be about anything. It could really be just what you're building, how you're building it, and the thought process behind it. I think we have seen a lot of Web3 projects go viral just because of the community that they bring in, and it always starts from the founders and the journey that they go through. So yeah, I mean, Urban, it's very clear, your advice and what you're sharing resonates with people, because we just got a comment. This is the most honest and sincere advice so far. Thank you, Urban. So I think with that, I just want to open the floor to any questions. We went through a lot, and I know, it can be a lot to digest. So this is the time. If any questions, please feel free to ask. But if you're feeling shy, you can also ask us on Discord as well. But we can take some time for questions to come in.
Yeah, maybe in the meantime, I've got a question for you, Trish. Scared. No, people don't know, but Angel Hack actually sees a lot of different projects. Oh, there we go. Saved by the bell or somebody else. Is there anywhere else I can see the schedule of workshops or activities besides here in Crowdcast? Yes, in the participation guide, there is a link. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to open that up if that's fine with everybody. Just give me a second.
I'm so happy that people are asking questions.
That you don't have to answer my questions.
Yes, I have sent across the calendar as well. If anyone's interested to subscribe to the entire workshop and hackathon calendar, this will essentially give you all the activities and workshops saved into your Google Cal or Apple Calendar or iCalendar, depending on what you use. And that way you will never miss a session, right? And of course, Urban has put up the participants guide, so please, you can feel free to go through that too.
So if you haven't seen this yet, this is the participation guide that we've created. As you see, it's a ton of information in here. Basically, everything that you need should be accessible here. If you can't find it, if you don't find your way around, please feel free to reach out. But on the schedule part, this is it, right? If you scroll down on the home page, you see an embedded calendar. And if you click on subscribe, it's essentially the same link that Trish sent. Click whatever you're using, and it should generate a link and then add these sessions into your calendar. So beyond that, everything is here that we spoke about today in a longer form as well, not just on a couple of slides. We're going to continuously try to update stuff if new information are needed, if something comes up. For instance, all these sessions are going to be on YouTube as well as linked in this session, in this participation guide as well. So if people want to navigate those, you can do that from here as well. What is the difference between 4-minute pitch video and video link? Asked in the pitch deck. Trish, that is for you.
So I think in this sense, right, the 4-minute pitch video is specifically for you to talk about your project, what you're what your project's about, what you're looking to build, so on and so forth. I think the video link in the pitch deck might actually be the same thing, but the submission portal will actually ask you for the video link itself. So this is to help our judges easily identify the video that you are uploading. It's also so that we don't miss it if it's in the pitch deck and it might not work. This is also to help all participants just submit something that we know is not broken, right? Because the last thing you want is to embed it and then subsequently it's not there. So I think essentially it's the same thing. It's a pitch video. But the one thing to take note is that we are also asking for a demo, right? That you need to present. So whether I think it's a demo video, which you can show, or showcase what you're doing, and that's separate from a pitch video, because a pitch video should focus more on the business side of the house, right? What your use case is, what you're looking to solve. A demo video then focuses more on the code and the technical side of the house. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. Can we build with
Next
any
question.
blockchain or just Sui and Solana? You can build with any blockchain that is realistically connected with Wormhole, right? That's kind of the cutoff, I think. Solana and Sui are just sponsoring this to incentivize more development, more projects, but you're free to build with essentially any blockchain that is connected with Wormhole. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense, right? If we receive a submission that has nothing to do with Wormhole, it's not going to get, we're not even going to consider that. So that's kind of, I think, the cutoff. Okay. That's a really good question. I agree with founders talking about their projects in places like X, and I do that too. But how do you talk about your project without shilling it? I'm curious to know your point of view. That is going to be
This question is for you.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be different for everyone because we are all different. We have different values. We have different points of views. I think a good route to take is the educational route. My personal favorite on that part, especially on Twitter, is Dan Rieser. Dan Rieser is the co-founder of the Wormhole Foundation, and he's from time to time, he puts out a longer educational thread with a ton of information that is kind of easily digestible. What you shouldn't really be doing is just going down the rabbit hole of that insane tech talk and jargon that nobody really understands, right? The idea is to attract more people, not to deter people from talking to you. So that's why it's kind of a balancing act. I think what you see largely on Twitter is, what you would maybe really call shilling, which is probably not the route you want to take, especially with an early stage project. There's nothing to show, really, right? That's kind of the point of it. So talking about what you're doing, kind of building in the open, attracts a lot of eyeballs. It's genuinely interesting for people to follow along your progress and how you're doing, and it's going to be much easier to talk to if you eventually decide to raise venture funding. It's going to be much easier to talk about the journey as well, because it's out there in the open, right? And you got to understand some of these, like most of these crypto VCs actually follow along what's happening. So there's that piece to it as well. But like I said, it's up to you. I think personally the education route makes a lot of sense, especially for early stage projects. Okay.
The next question, I think, is also for you, Urban, which is, what are your views on some of the best things that can be built using NTT on top of it, to be precise?
Oh, very, very interesting. I think NTT in general is a very, very innovative framework for building across different chains. I would highly encourage you to look at the workshop that Evgeny often gives. Evgeny and Nikhil, both of them give a lot of NTT related workshops. honestly, I'm not going to dive into too many use cases right now. I would encourage you, though, to look at this not from solely a entity perspective, but from a wormhole product stack perspective, right? What are some of the things that you can combine or use to build something unique? We've got, for instance, the queries product is something very cool that people can use. Composable intents is something that we are launching, we have launched, that you can also make use of. So I'd say don't try just looking at NTT. Look at different products that you can almost stack on top of each other or use for different use cases, and something awesome is going to emerge from that. We should host an event to discuss ideas we can build. Happy to volunteer. 100%. I think that's a great idea. Why don't you... actually, here you go. If you want to connect with me on Telegram, we can try setting something up. We'll see if people want to engage in these sessions, but I think that's a fantastic idea. Yeah. Queries is essentially a querying mechanism of the state of the chain, of a particular chain. So we can grab that information, use it, and do something with it on the other end of it.
Not a question, but came from, I think, Anne. Ideation sessions are always great in the first week. So, if you're looking to do an event that you want to discuss ideas, you want to literally build in the open during the Sigma sprint, then this week will be the best time to get it started. And I think like what Urban mentioned, you can feel free to ping him on Telegram, or you can actually just message us on Discord. We're all there as well.
Yeah, 100%. There's also a question in the chat box, in the question box. For NTT, is there a UI for bridging existing now? No, it isn't. Wink, wink. Maybe that's a good hackathon project. Yeah, make sure to.
The second question has been answered. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have.
I don't think that's all. I think we're coming to the question to Trish, right? No, look, Trish, you guys see, you see people are excited. So here's the thing, right? You guys obviously do a lot, right? Angel Hack, if people are not familiar, organizes quite a few different events, hackathons. Within the tribe group, you also do accelerators. The last cool thing that I've seen is a accelerator with NVIDIA, with the NVIDIA. So huge kudos to you guys, right? These are not amateur people, just so that everybody knows. So the question is, what is your advice? Right, you see a lot of people come through. You see a lot of hackathons being organized. You see a lot of submissions. You see, generally a lot of stuff. I know you're not an engineer, right? But more from a from a higher level perspective, what's your advice to people coming into this?
Personally, I think the resources are there for a reason, and I think people often, this is my personal opinion, so don't put it on the chat, okay? But I think what we typically see in hackathons is that, yeah, it's a 3-week period, it's virtual, but the main bulk of the building actually happens at the end, right? And I think I'm not an engineer, to be very honest, but I don't believe in waiting to the last minute, which is why I keep stressing, earlier, to just try things out. If it doesn't work, you know where to go, right? Because the last thing you want is to, I think, oh yeah, I can do it in a week, I can do it in a few days, but miss out on all the questions you could ask the mentors, you could ask the speakers through the workshops and everything. One thing that I really like about hackathons, beyond just the submission and the coding, is that you get access to a community that you don't actually typically have access to, right? Just speaking, I think, with Urban today, and he's dropping his Telegram down in the chat. That's something that you don't see every single day, right? And you might not even know how to reach him in the event, if you didn't attend this opening ceremony, or if you're not watching the recap. So I think personally, I find that just attending mentor office hours, asking mentors questions, like maybe in your mind you're like, oh, but I can find this in the documentation, I can find this in the resources, right? But asking these questions, sometimes you get more than what you expect. That's one. So if you wait to the last minute, the likelihood of you actually asking is very low because you are hard pressed for time to just find it on your own, right? But if you start early, you make use of the sessions, you make use of the office hours that are happening literally 3 times throughout the entire hackathon every Tuesday, then at least you have a place to ask, you have a place to connect, and I think the relationships that you form will go beyond just the hackathon period. And the way that Sigma Sprint is set up is not that you just submit a hackathon project, you win a prize, and you go off your way. I think the whole point of this hackathon is actually for you to encourage builders to stay committed in the wormhole ecosystem, right? You want to forge relationships and you want to be able to connect with people beyond just this time. And I think I really like that whole setup, which is also why my personal recommendation is, having done so many hackathons, I think the ones that are usually the ones I want to win, right? The ones that I feel deserve the win, deserve the first place or whatever prize that they get, would usually be the ones that actually reach out and ask and chat, right? And get to know the people behind the hackathon, right? Whether it's the mentors, the judges, the speakers, whatever, right? This is also just a caveat that I'm not the ones judging your hackathon. So please don't message me hoping to get to know me and expecting me to just put in a good word. I have no say in who wins, but but like generally speaking, I think those that ask, typically you get a lot more than what you ask for, just through the interaction. And these things will last with you beyond the hackathon, right? Not just the price. Yeah, that's my own recommendation. Hope it helps. And sorry, Kamal, you can write a mail to me, but I won't be judging the project.
All right. Words of wisdom from Trish. Thank you very much. No, this was great. Pretty much nailed it. I think I would have given a very similar answer to something like this. So
you put me on the spot there. I'm so nervous.
you see, you passed. That's good. All right, so let's maybe you just wrap it up. We've got a wonderful session coming up with Tristan from Backpack and Mad Lads in about 13 minutes. I'm going to go and refill my water and ping Tristan to meet me here in a couple of minutes. And yeah, I hope I see you all in about 12 minutes. Trish, thank you very much for co-hosting this. It was great to do another session with you. It's been a while, so I was excited to be doing this. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Last question, sorry, Urban, before we drop off. So for tomorrow, if you can't tag the Sigma mentors on Discord, just not to worry. On Help Desk, we can see all the questions there. So as long as you categorize the questions, it's easy for us then to tag the respective mentor or just ask one of them for help if needed. And I will send you the Discord link. I am very, very, very pro Discord. Let me find it.
It should be just the general Wormhole Discord, right? There's a section built for Sigma.
Yes, that's correct. But if you are not on the Wormhole Discord yet, here's the link. Okay, that's all.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
See you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.